Hello, friends. We are embarking on a very special journey of connecting with Devi and knowing more about her through this very, very important and special book, Sri Soundarya Lahari, The Descent, by Swami Satyasangananda Saraswati ji. This is published by Yoga Publication Trust, Munger, Bihar, and it has more than 500 plus pages. We will be covering shloka by shloka, and each day we'll take up one shloka. We'll read and do the word by word translation from Sanskrit to English. And also, I'll pick up few stanzas of commentaries which I feel are important and cannot be missed. However, not everything I'll be reading out. You can close your eyes, and it'll be best imbibed if you close your eyes and listen to the whole journey beginning from now with utmost devotion and one pointed concentration. Before we start the shlokas, I would first want to read the written note by Swami Shivananda on Soundarya Lahari, which is in the beginning before the preface of the book, and then I'll be reading a little part and few paragraphs of the preface, and also the introduction, which is huge before we begin with the shlokas. However, like I mentioned, I pick few stanzas which are important. So without much ado, let's begin. Swami Shivananda on Soundarya Lahari. Soundarya Lahari is an eminent text on Tantra Shastra which describes the worship of Parabrahman or absolute consciousness in the form of Upasana Shakti. Upasana Shakti or Sri Vidya. So the Parabrahman or the absolute consciousness is worshipped in the form of Upasana Shakti or Sri Vidya. It reveals the essence of Sri Vidya, which is the reason why maximum commentaries have been written on it. The sacred hymn reflects Adi Guru Shankracharya's heightened flight of imagination, the affectionate smooth flow of his devotion, and the unique poetic touch of his profound contemplation. It also provides an insight into the secrets of Agama and Tantra by giving descriptive account of Kundalini Yoga, Chakra, and various topics on Tantra. The intrinsic form of worship has neither ritualistic nor method. The form of Parabrahma Shiva along with Shakti is worshipped in various energy centers of chakras within the human body. Those internal practitioners who believe in the unity of Shiva and Shakti can awaken their Kundalini and raise it through the various chakras to the Sahasrara by worship and mantra japa. There, the individual soul unites with the Supreme Soul. Now, what all can one obtain by the worship of Devi? One can obtain wealth, learning, riches, success in special work, and victory over enemies, cure of chronic disease, and so on. In order to obtain these various yantras, bija mantras, and oblations are utilized. Many people practice these shlokas in order to please Devi for the fulfillment even for the worldly desires. The success depends on the faith and devotion of a sadhaka. If there is some delay in the fulfillment of the desired object, then the practice should be continued with utmost devotion for few more days. If one prays to the Mother for salvation through these shlokas, one can even attain mukti or liberation, the supreme goal of our lives. According to Kurma Purana, just as water has the inherent quality of putting out fire and sunlight wards off the darkness, so in this Kali Yuga, the name of a Devi is verily capable of destroying all sins. Now, I'll be reading the preface, few stanzas very important in the preface also. The worship of the divine as mother can be traced back as the most ancient times that predate even history. The Gayatri Mantra and the early Vedic hymns in worship of Shakti, personified as Usha, the dawn, indicate the existence of Shakti worship from the earliest times. Of all the images of Shakti, perhaps, the dawn, the exact moment when the sun comes over the horizon, showering earth with prana, is the most striking. This significant display of Shakti's splendor and power has been forever enshrined in Vedas. Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Durga also find a significant place in the Vedic hymns. So it's the dawn time when the sun is in orange color, and just the exact moment where we call the sunrise, when it comes to the horizon, is the time when Shakti can be identified with the orange color sun. Moving on. Now, this particular invocation of Soundarya Lahari of the Supreme Shakti by Shankara, Sri Adi Guru Shankracharya, has been recorded by the tradition. Had the stutis or songs of Rama and Arjuna praising God as Devi been recorded, perhaps we could have utilized them as well. But unfortunately, this is not the case, because even Rama prayed to Devi before fighting his and putting his foot into Sri Lanka and fighting his war with Ravana. And so did Arjuna. So Shankara's Stuti is most relevant to us today because it can help us alleviate the crisis we face in our daily lives, whether we are poor, destitute, hungry, or stuck with disease, grief, or loss. And when we want even to acquire name, fame, and good fortune, in all these conditions, praying to Devi and especially Soundarya Lahari can prove to be very, very helpful. However, how we need to pray is important. Shakti has to be worshipped and revered if you are to experience her full benefits. She is present in everything, and you'll have to inculcate an attitude of reverence for all that you are, all that you have, and all that you experience. Remember, reverence for all that you are as of now, all that you have, and all that you experience on a day to day basis. Complete reverence and a feeling of gratefulness is what will help you connect deeper with Soundarya Lahari. This is the secret key to release the great power of Shakti. Therefore, the mantras of Soundarya Lahari should always be enchanted with reverence as an act of worship and with due respect. It is this attitude of reverence and worship that will unlock the closed doors of inner experience and unleash the full force of magnitude. So, this is the secret which is clearly being mentioned here, and that is how, with this attitude, one can easily and deeply connect with Devi. Worship requires one pointed mind, so listen with utmost attention and a pure heart. It also requires a disciplined body and a constant, unbroken attitude of surrender all the time. In addition, the intellect must be balanced so that it does not disturb the mind by undue reasoning, which interrupts the worship. We have often seen that happening. So, it's basically the intellect our buddhi, which will help us make the right judgment and keep the mana in control. By performing Soundarya Lahari Sadhana in this way, you are simultaneously practicing Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all encompassing. Thus, Soundarya Lahari Sadhana is the culmination of all yoga, intended to draw out our highest potential. With this, we end our first preface and Swami Shivananda's commentary on Soundarya Lahari. Tomorrow we'll be taking a part of the introduction. And once the introduction gets over, we will be doing shloka by shloka. But this aspect is equally very important to bring us into the right mind frame and the attitude and approach through which we will be able to deeply connect. So, thank you so much for listening.